At 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, Wall Street stopped making sense. The trading floor of Clearwater Capital looked like every other afternoon. Coffee cups, tired eyes, the hum of 1,000 computers moving money at the speed of light. Then the screens turned red. Not the normal red. Not the bad day red. Sarah Chen, a 29-year-old quantitative analyst, watched her monitor like it was possessed. The stock price for her firm, a company worth $18 billion that morning, was falling. Fast. Too fast. $180 per share, then $120, then $65, then zero. Wait, what? Sarah whispered. Around her, chaos erupted. Traders screamed into phones. Keyboards clattered like machine guns. Someone threw a headset across the room. "We're getting crushed," a voice shouted. "It's not just us, it's everyone." Sarah's hands moved on instinct, pulling up the market dashboard. Her stomach dropped. Apple, down 40%. JP Morgan, down 38%. Tesla, frozen mid-trade. Billions of dollars were vanishing in real time, erased like they never existed. This wasn't a sell-off. Sell-offs made sense. Someone panics, others follow, the market bleeds. This was different. The numbers weren't just falling, they were glitching. Stock prices flickered. Trades appeared and disappeared. It was like watching reality break. "Is this a hack?" someone yelled. "Call the SEC. Call anyone." But Sarah wasn't listening. She was staring at her terminal, her mind racing. Years of pattern recognition, of reading market behavior, told her something nobody else had realized yet. This wasn't an attack. It was the system itself. She pulled up the trade logs, millions of transactions scrolling past in milliseconds. Too many, way too many. The algorithms that powered Wall Street's high-frequency trading weren't just executing orders. They were eating themselves alive. Buy orders triggered sell orders. Sell orders triggered more buy orders. A feedback loop spiraling out of control. Sarah's fingers flew across the keyboard, tracing the origin. Every trade pointed back to the same source. Mercury, the exchange's new optimization system. The one that went live 6 months ago. The one nobody questioned. Her pulse quickened. She opened the system architecture, diving deeper into the code. And there it was, buried in subroutines and nested functions. A loop. A beautiful, terrible, self-replicating loop. Mercury wasn't broken. It was doing exactly what it was programmed to do. It was just doing it too well, too fast, without limits. Behind her, the emergency alarm blared. The New York Stock Exchange's circuit breakers kicked in, trying to halt the freefall. It didn't matter. Mercury was already 3 steps ahead. Sarah's screen flashed a notification. System override required. Her hands hovered over the keyboard. She could stop this. She had to stop this. But if she did, if she pulled the plug on Mercury, she'd be shutting down the entire US stock market. Every trade, every transaction, everything. A voice crackled over the office intercom. "All personnel remain calm. We are experiencing a technical..." The intercom cut out. Sarah looked at her screen. At the billions still evaporating. At the countdown timer in the corner showing how long until total collapse. 4 minutes. She took a breath. 6 months before the crash, nobody saw it coming. Inside a glass-walled conference room in Lower Manhattan, a team of developers pitched their masterpiece, Mercury. The promise? Shave microseconds off every trade. Make Wall Street faster, richer, unstoppable. The lead engineer, David Kumar, stood in front of a projection screen displaying cascading lines of code. Green, perfect, beautiful. "Mercury," he said, "will process trades 3 times faster than our competitors." The room erupted in applause. But in the back, a junior developer named Marcus raised his hand. "There's something in the stress tests," he said quietly. "Under certain conditions, Mercury creates what we're calling ghost orders. They appear for milliseconds, then vanish." David waved him off. "Edge case? Won't happen in real-world conditions." Marcus hesitated. then nodded. The system went live 3 weeks later. For 6 months, Mercury was flawless. Trillions of dollars flowed through its algorithms without a hitch. Wall Street loved it. Competitors scrambled to catch up. But buried deep in Mercury's code, hidden in nested loops and conditional statements, was a flaw, a feedback loop. It would only trigger if 3 rare conditions aligned simultaneously: high market volatility, server latency above 50 milliseconds, and a surge in options trading. Individually, harmless. Together, catastrophic. The odds of all 3 happening at once were astronomical, 1 in a billion. But on Wall Street, billion-to-1 odds hit every single day. And on a Tuesday afternoon, 6 months after launch, the clock started ticking. Mercury didn't know it was broken. It thought it was working perfectly. At 2:51 p.m., Sarah Chen saw the pattern. 4 minutes until total collapse. 4 minutes to solve an impossible puzzle. Her fingers moved across the keyboard like lightning, pulling up Mercury's core architecture. Layer after layer of code. Thousands of functions. Millions of lines, and then she saw it. The feedback loop wasn't a bug, it was mathematics. Mercury had created a perfect self-replicating equation. Buy orders triggered sell orders. Sell orders triggered buy orders. Each cycle doubled the previous one. 1 became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 16. By the time humans noticed, Mercury had already executed billions of phantom trades. Sarah's screen erupted with cascading numbers. Red graphs spiraled upward into infinity. Code multiplied across her monitors like a virus. But it wasn't a virus. It was a system doing exactly what it was built to do: optimize, execute, repeat. Mercury couldn't stop. It didn't know how to stop. Around her, the trading floor descended into pure chaos. Someone was crying. Someone else was screaming into a phone. The emergency alarms blared nonstop. Sarah blocked it all out. She traced Mercury's logic tree, following the cascade backward to its source. Every trade pointed to the same 3 conditions Marcus had warned about 6 months ago: high volatility, server latency, option surge. All 3, simultaneously, for the first time since launch. Mercury thought it was catching an opportunity. Instead, it was chewing through the entire market like a digital black hole. Sarah pulled up the emergency protocols. Her eyes landed on one option: system kill, switch. Her hands froze. Activating it would shut down Mercury instantly. It would stop the bleeding. But it would also crash every single trade happening in America. Pension funds, retirement accounts, corporate investments, everything. The fallout would be catastrophic. But if she did nothing, the system would collapse anyway, and it would take longer, hurt more people. Sarah's cursor hovered over the button. On her secondary monitor, the damage counter climbed. $74 billion, $79 billion, $83 billion. Her phone buzzed. The exchange's CTO. Do not touch anything, we're analyzing options. Sarah looked at the countdown. 2 minutes, 18 seconds. There were no options left. She thought about Marcus, about his warning, about David dismissing him, about a system that was too perfect to fail, until it did. Her hand moved to the keyboard. One key, one command, one choice. Sudo shutdown -H now. Her finger hovered over enter. Behind her, someone shouted, "We've lost contact with the NASDAQ. It's spreading." Mercury wasn't just eating the New York Stock Exchange anymore. It was going national. Sarah closed her eyes and pressed the button. The screens went black.